Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shade 45.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Heather B.
Talk to me.
I know you can appreciate this, Heather B.
Of course I'm appreciated. I love appreciation.
We only like the truth.
That's right.
We only deal with the truth on this show.
That's right.
Now, some people can fake the truth. I call them the style. They're good at styling. They're stylists. Some people are just actors.
Right, right.
Some people tell you it ain't even about rapping. It's about everything else. I'm an artist. I'm not just, don't call me a rapper.
Right, right.
I've known this young lady for a long time. For a long time.
Okay.
And since I've known her, she's been thorough. In regards to knowing who she is and what she wants to accomplish, not just as an artist, but intertwining who she is as a person into her artistry. So real. A person that stands for principles. A person who got like morals. A person who got standards in what it is she do. We missed her for a long time, but she never really left us, Heather, because her spirit resonated. Right. I feel like I'm preaching right now.
To me. I keep telling you, you gotta learn them. Learn them.
Amen.
Church.
Her life ain't been easy. None of our lives have been easy. But I think you could learn from example from this young lady who's with us today. Because no matter how much turmoil she been through, you grew up in Castle Hill?
Yeah, and in Queens too.
In Queens too?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what adversity she faced, when you look at her today, she damn near looks like an angel because she looks happy. But the one thing that I can tell about her, just listening to these verses she's been spitting, no matter what she been through, she's still a hyena and she will chop off your head on this mic. Please welcome to the show, the ruler's back, the one, the only Remy Ma, ladies and gentlemen. Remy Ma!
Talk about an intro.
Remy.
Yo, I got chills talking about you. Come on. You saw
so
the
much.
did you see the Instagram I did?
I was dying. That it's definitely one of the top ones that was done, if not the best one.
I'm glad you clarified that. I know you got to be diplomatic. I ain't mad at that, Remy. It's good to have you home.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
And what I like about seeing you home is, I've had a lot of friends that been away. And a lot of times you could be consumed by that. That could eat you up. And when you walk out and you get back into the free world, a lot of people could lose their grip on reality,
Right.
And
absolutely.
And a lot of people could get sucked under with that experience they went through. But when I look at you, you look so happy. You look balanced. You look calm. Is that who you are right now?
That's exactly who I am right now. I think what you were explaining is that sometimes it's not even, some people say, oh, you're institutionalized. It's not that. Being incarcerated and for a lengthy time period, it takes a toll on everything. You're constantly depressed. You're constantly stressed. You're constantly watching your back. And, it's sometimes with people who never had mental problems in their lives, they get on OMH meds, mental health meds, and when they reintegrate into society, they can't adapt anymore because they've been sheltered for so long and their brain is no longer what it was. They're not the same person. Yeah. And it's degrading. You go through a lot of things where people are purposely trying to break you down. That's the purpose of it. Like they want to break you all the way down. But me, in my case, I had a very strong support system, not just my family and, my friends, but my husband was ultimately super supportive. When I first got there, Pap came up literally every single day for like the first year that I was there.
Wow.
And visits are from like 8:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, and he would be there Monday through Friday, and whichever weekend my visit alternated on. So when you have a support system that keeps you in tune with the world and keeps you, sane, it's easier for you to come back and, be how I am now. Like I could be super depressed. Like I really believe that some people come home from prison and they are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. It's serious, but it's not diagnosed as such because I guess there were bombs going off or things like that. But it's very, stressful. It's a traumatic experience when you're grabbed from your life that you're living every day, whether you're an entertainer or you have a regular 9-to-5 working in an office building, to be pulled away from that, away from your family, away from your parents, your wife, your husband, your children, anything, whatever you got going on, and put somewhere as long as I was gone 6.5 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to come home and be the same person. You know, I was blessed to be able to, you know, come home and be just as close to the person I was before. I'm just a little smarter now and a little wiser.
Yeah, and your teeth are white. I mean, Jesus. Why your teeth gleaming? I can see my reflection in your teeth, Remy. No, I just have to point that out because she's looking great. Your skin looks great. You know, you sound like you're mentally sound considering the circumstances. Mm-hmm. Did you have family inside? Did you have people that you could rely on inside?
I definitely had. When I first got there, I had it in my mind, I'm not going to be friends with anybody. I'm staying away from everybody. I'm going to stay to myself. But after time goes by and you're living with people, like literally in close confinement, you're going to programs with them, you start to know their family from seeing them on visits or whatever they're going through with their children or just how much time they got. Like most of my friends that I made may never come home again.
Wow.
You know, or have been there since they was 16, 17, 18 years old and given double-digit sentences, like 18 years, 25 to life. So I met people that, you know, were awesome people. And when I left, it was very hurtful to me because these are people that I really consider my friends, more so than people that I grew up with.
Wow.
Because I know when we're in a situation, what they're going to do. Whereas the people who were my friends since I was 10, 11, 12, they weren't there the way I would have liked for them to be there, but they wouldn't understand what we were going through. And it's sad because per, stipulations, when you're a parolee or you have post-release supervision, you can't interact with anyone who has a criminal history.
So you can't write them or nothing?
So I can't write them. I can't send them packages. I can't talk to them. And these are people that I spent 6.5 years that were traumatic.
Wow.
Things that I really went through and, went through it with them. Because after 3:30 when visiting hours are over or after 10 o'clock when you can't use the phone anymore, this is who I'm with. Yeah. And it hurts.
Can you shout them out?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I don't think they'll be able to hear, but somebody probably tell them. I mean, Star, she's from Philly. Angie, she's from Brooklyn. Natalia, she's from Brooklyn. Beatty from Buffalo. Shaniqua, she's actually from the Bronx. And these are the people that I really, bonded with and had a good relationship with them. And it literally pains me to know that they have to stay there when I left.
Wow, Remy Ma has joined us, man. We're gonna sit and talk with you for a second, if you don't mind. And if we ask anything intrusive, you could just stop me. I'm not gonna ask you anything I'm not supposed to ask you.
Okay.
All right. Because certain things I know you can't talk about. Right. But man, can we take them on a journey back? I saw you with my little homie Bow Wow and him over on 106 at Park yesterday, and he was bringing up all these hits that you was a part of. So we're gonna open up the phone lines 888-742-3345. Remy Ma is here. Take her back, have to be Remy Ma is here. The ruler's back. She got these ill-ass hats that she's teamed up with. Who you teamed up with? 40 ounce?
Yeah, 40 ounce.
40 ounce is blowing up.
I actually, I drew the design myself. It's not exactly like the one that I drew, but it came out pretty cool. I think it's dope.
Yeah, the ruler's back. So we're going to give away a couple of these.
Dope.
On the show. Remy, I appreciate you sharing these stories.
Thank you.
What it's like, even being incarcerated because, where I'm from, a lot of folks got incarcerated. So when I see people glorifying it, in my opinion, I just don't get it.
No, it's not a cool place to be. It's nothing cool about going to prison at all.
Right.
There's nothing cool about that.
And I'm glad you had a support base eventually once you got in there. I know somebody tried to battle you in prison. Tell me somebody didn't try to battle you in prison.
Actually, no. Nobody really did. I think a lot of people pretty much just wanted insight on how to get into the business and how do you go about entering into this industry. So it was hard for me to, tell them, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, a teacher, I tell you, go to school, take these classes, you get a degree, and no matter what, you're going to be a lawyer. No matter what, you're going to be a doctor. There's no set formula to be a rapper. Like, there's no set formula to guarantee that you're going to have a record deal and be able to put out records. So it was kind of, heartbreaking because I had to tell him, like, it's not real what you see. A lot of it is for entertainment purposes only. And there's very few people that, actually do what they're saying. Like, this is a job. Like, but there's no set format that I can tell you to do. So they're like, so you mean like I can't just put this out and then I'm gonna get signed? I'm like, no, it doesn't
work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So no one never really came at me in no battle tip. They just always, wanted advice and things of, that you wouldn't actually know. Then there was crazy people like, well, how is Jay-Z and Beyonce? Do they really get like anything that came out in a magazine? They swore that I had the inside scoop on what really happened. I'm like, I don't know. I'm here with y'all. I don't know.
Like, where did I find that out? Right.
So that's about it, really. It's about the music.
It was about the music. Okay, cool. When I interviewed Pac before he passed away, that wasn't a stunt, Heather.
I was about to get you.
Yeah, I know you about to do that. And I talked to him about how much writing did you do when you was locked up, and he said he wasn't inspired to write much at that time. Were you?
Pac did about 2 years, I think. So I could see how when you first get there, you're so devastated. Like, you really look around and cannot believe that you're in this 8x8 cube with a door closed and a window with bars, and past the bars there's barbed wire, and you really don't have the drive that people would think. People think you're just sitting there, you have all this time, you have all the time in the world to write, but when you really do this is what you do, and it comes from inside you, and you're writing things that either you experience or someone around you experience or that you really feel and it's heartfelt to you. It's hard to put it on paper when you're so miserable. Like, that's how your music will come out. You feel like it's songs that I have that I tried to write during those periods, and they're depressing. Like, people probably hear them and cry. It'd be a R&B sad album. But then because I was there so long, and once my spirits got lifted up and I realized, this is not the ends of me. This is not, I'm sure they intended for this to ruin my life, but once I got it in my head that I'm not going to allow this place to change me, it was more easier for me to, put my feelings into my music. And I would just take myself out. Like, what would I be writing if I was on vacation right now?
Yeah.
Or what would I write if I had just went to the party last night? Or how did I feel after I just came off a visit with my family and everyone was there? Like, so those things gave me the drive to write. But if I probably would have only did about 2 years, I probably wouldn't have wrote much of anything. Yeah. But after 6 years go by, you get used to, your environment, and you're a little bit more comfortable, and your brain is not as scattered, So it's kind of easier for me, I can say. But I definitely had periods of time where I felt like, I haven't written anything in 4 months. Yeah. What's going on? Did I lose my talent or something?
Did you lose it? Right.
Like that's how I would feel. And then there'd be a time where I just, for 4 months straight, it's just every day something else is coming out. So you go through periods, through different spurts, and it's the way you feel.
Did you test it out on other inmates?
No. No. I would test it out. I call Pap, or I call my one of my brothers. I have an older brother and a little brother. Yeah. And they're like, my biggest critics. So I would call them like, listen to this. Tell me what you think. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'm like, you sure? You're right. It's good. It's all right. So I would test it with them and see how they felt about it.
All right. Heather B wanted to, this is your first time. This is your first time meeting?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, okay, that's great, man.
And I've always, Sway and I talk about this all the time. I've always just been a fan of hip-hop and women in hip-hop overall. It doesn't matter. People say we shouldn't separate it. But what was interesting to me, and I'm not making a comparison, was that while you were away, we saw Little Kim go away. We saw the Brat go away. We saw Lauryn Hill go away. And it was just like, wow, Foxy go away as well. Were you able to reach out to them in any kind of way? Were you guys able to write each other and talk at all?
No, actually, when I was on Rikers, though, I was on Rikers at the same time that Foxy was on Rikers. Okay. And she had been there for, a couple of months before I got there. And I didn't get to see her or interact with her, but they had us in close custody, like where you don't get to interact with other inmates. But she, and we didn't get along prior to this situation.
Right, I know.
She would send the reverend of the prison, who she had, I guess, already had built a relationship with because she was there for a while, and she would send him to come talk to me and just try to uplift my spirits and I understand what you're going through and things like that, and I really appreciate that from her. Like it was like being a bigger person. Sometimes she gets a lot of flack and for being having a bad attitude or whatever. Yeah. And that's how they were treating her. And when I got there, it was like, oh, I don't like her. She's this and she's that. But I guess she only had 8 months to do, so she had a different attitude as opposed to me that had 8 years. Like I couldn't even fathom how I was going to get through the next 8 years. And when she was sending this reverend to come see me, I took it very personal, and I thank her for that. I never got a chance to physically thank her, but I thank her for that.
Wow,
that's dope. Thank you for sharing that.
That's awesome. Now, Remy, I know you've heard this probably.
This is Tracy G. Have you ever met her? She's
No.
new. She's new to the scene. Okay.
No, I met Remy a long time ago when I was in high school, and you came over to do a performance. Not in high school, in college at Pace University. Okay. But that was a while back. But I've always been a very adamant and vocal fan of yours, so it's amazing seeing you look so collected and resplendent with us. But it's interesting because I feel like I've thought about you the most over this past year from watching Orange is the New Black. Because I'm like, yo, I wish Remy was here to tell me, like, is this really how it's down? Is this fictional? Is this factual? And from watching the show, you see the women break down when it comes to the nights. Because I know you were talking about the visiting hours, they end at 3:30.
Right.
How did you deal with, like, lonely spells without having your husband near you?
I mean, like I said, I ended up having a bond with people who had been there and had done it for years. Like I was telling Sway when we were off air that another one of the people there that I got very close with, her name is Rosalind Smith. And when you're in prison, they use your first initial and your last name. So because we had the same initials, I would get her mail by mistake sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when you first arrive, your DIN number, that's your department identification number, that they do everything, starts with the year that you got there. So mine was 08G, and then it had the rest of the numbers. Mm-hmm. When I got this lady's mail, it said 80G, which means she had been in the prison since 1980. And like this is before I was born, and I could not believe it. I was like, "Are you serious?" But one of my other acquaintances, they told me they knew her. They said, I want you to meet her. When I met this lady, you would never guess in a million years that she had done over 30 years in prison. She was there since she was a kid, about 17 years old. She looks amazing. Her spirits were up. She was like, don't worry, you'll be able to get through this. And when I saw that, like, how could I complain about this 8 years that I may have to do when this lady has been here before I was born? So, it's sort of like what you see on TV, but it's way deeper than that. It's a lot more that goes on. A lot of the things that they had going on in that show is factual. I caught like 1 or 2 episodes since I've been home. I've only been home like a week, so I haven't got to see the whole thing. But a lot of it is factual as far as, the emotional side of things. And it's easier to get through when you have other people who have done it before telling you, like, you'll be all right. Everything's okay. It's good when your family and your loved ones tell you that, but you've never been here. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to tell me it's going to be okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to tell me it's going to be all right. When you have somebody that's been there and has done it since they were a teenager, like missed their prom, high school graduation, 21, 25, 30, 35, 40, you can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like I would crumble just from the absence of sex. Yo, to be real,
horny.
That would be the first thing that I would do once I get out.
I was able to get conjugal visits because I was married. So you get to go on those like every 42 days if you don't get in trouble. So
okay, you made sure you didn't get in trouble, right?
I mean, I got in trouble a couple of times. I was devastated. I was like, no, wait, let me explain what happened. But wait.
How do you think Pat felt?
He would go crazy. You said, what? Are you crazy? Oh, gosh.
Damn. You went and go buy some more lotion and then, no, my
bad,
dog. My bad.
It's called delayed gratification.
Is that what it's
feels
called?
better
Okay,
when you wait.
Bad, Pap. My bad, dog.
Lotion.
5 Fingers of Death, dog. You remember?
Zaddy.
All right. Man, Remy Ma's here. How did you get in trouble, though? Like, what happened?
All different types of stuff.
Yeah.
Fights. out of place. Like, you can get in trouble for anything. Rules that would never apply in the real world. It's just, I stay out of place or disobeying a direct order. That's the most one that I always get. Like, if they tell you something, you have to do it. So you don't. The first charge is disobeying a direct order. So, I did that a lot. I only got caught really for one fight. Yeah. What else?
One fight. She said, I only got caught. You got to hear the language in that.
Very purposeful language.
I only got caught.
Really? You got to hear the really. I only got caught. Really?
For one fight. All right. Who was fight? What? But that's what I'm like curious about. That shit happens. Like you might have to fight. What would you fight on? What was that fight about?
That one, she just didn't like me. Like she liked me at first when I first got there. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, Rem's here and this. And I was just like, but I don't like you. I pick my friends. I don't let my friends pick me. Yeah. So, and that's definitely something that I learned since I've been in prison. Like, I have to pick who I want to be my friends, not allow people to pick who they are in my life. And she was mad about that. So one day she was just like, we got a problem. I was like, I don't like you and I think you're really ugly, but, I wouldn't consider that a problem. Like, so you want to get it in? I'm like, all right, it's nothing on my schedule. And it was so stupid like that, just stupid. But if you think about it, you take 900 women who are pissed off, mad that they're somewhere where they are, it's going to be some problems. It's always going to be something. So, that's like when I first got there, though. Like, once you get a little bit, used to the environment and people, who to deal with, who's, just trying to pick with you so they could say, I had a fight with Remy mom when she was here. I pretty much figured out how to circumvent a lot of my physical altercations. But, yeah.
You're right. Knuckle game still on point. Remy Ma is here, man. Now, last night, was it last night French leaked this song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Megadeth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. It got leaked last night, but we're gonna world premiere it anyway here.
Right.
This morning, the way we do it. Globally on Sway in the Morning. That's when it really counts, Remy. I don't know if you know that now. I don't know if you know that now.
Say
but
it loud.
and this is a song you did with French and Swizz.
Swizz and Jadakiss. Like, Swizz is doing what he does as best. Actually, I just was hitting him through the email. We trying to get in the studio again and make something crazy. Just that's gonna be whatever part 2015. So that's really dope. But when I actually did this record, French called me, asked me if I could come in and do it. And he let me hear the beat, and I was like, this is amazing. This is crazy. And then Swizz called. He was in Italy with his wonderful wife. Yes. And we had a great conversation. He was just telling me, like, how I had posted a picture on my Instagram, like my first selfie. I'm like, it was just happy to just wake up in my own bed. That's just how I felt. It wasn't like I orchestrated anything. I was just like, yo, I still can't believe it. I wake up every morning like, I'm in my bed.
Right? Touching the sheets.
Yeah.
So we had a good conversation, and then French came in and we listened to it. And I'm like, so who else is gonna be on that? He's like, oh, Jade. I'm like, oh, hold on, wait a minute.
You got to rewrite, right?
Hold on. Not even rewrite. Which one of these? Because I had two. I was like, which one of y'all do y'all think? So I pretty much took a poll, and everybody went with the one that I actually laid down. Because I read Jada is really sneaky. He always tries to come in there and crush everybody that's on the record. Yeah. Got to be on point when he's on the record. So, but when I tell you everybody, like, I love everybody's from Swizz ad libs, which is ridiculous. Like, he just gets you turned up just listening to it. And then French did his thing and Jada did his thing. But yeah,
we're gonna play this, and then I want to open up the phone lines. You got a lot of fans calling in right now. You want to speak with Remy Ma? 888-742-3345. 39 minutes into the hour. Brand new. It's called Megadeth. Swizz, French, Jada, Remy, Sway in the Morning.